Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. I appreciate the viewership, and I want to first of all thank the folks who took my place. But great to have Bill, and I always count on Bill to be there. And then brought a special guest with Captain Billy Archer, and then Greg was here. So Billy Archer, he's a legendary fisherman. This is his 50th year fishing, third generation. So having him on the show was a big plus, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's move on to our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, and hard-working crew taking care of everyday comfort needs. High today, 87, and low tonight, 74. Water temperature right at 83 degrees at the end of the pier. Our river reading is brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. Folks, take a look at this. NOAA has changed their chart. Okay, the Appalachian Coast Bluntstown is 8.3, and I hope you can read it better than me because it looks like it's staying level. We're stepping back in the chart. The charts they've sent us before, Gail told me last night, said the charts are different. And then, anyway, so take a look at the Choctawhatchee Caryville, 8.9. So look at them a second. Hopefully you can figure them out. The Choctawhatchee, that rain we've had, it's going up, but the Appalachian Coast is staying level from what I can see on these new charts. So we'll have to work with them. Our tide brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good strong tides. Low this morning at 8:03. High is 8:03. Then going out to 7:15 tonight. Good strong tides. Marine forecast south-southeast at about 11. Let's take a break. We'll come back with our special guest. Hey, welcome back, and a familiar face here on Panhandle Outdoors, coming all the way from Crestview, Ernie Martin. Welcome back.
Nice to be here. Appreciate the invite. Glad to come out and hang out with people that have like-minded ideas.
A fellow outdoor education teacher over there and does a tremendous job. And he's over in this neck of the woods and staying out over Seagrove Beach area.
Yes, sir. So that area.
Your drive this morning wasn't quite as long.
Oh, it was nice. I was actually driving with daylight and seeing the sunrise. That was beautiful.
That's great. Appreciate you coming up. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. And,
oh, yeah.
But what the last, you haven't been here in a couple of months. So how the school year and all ended up, and family, how's everybody doing?
Yeah, seems to be doing well. Our school year, as it gets closer, everybody's ready for it to get done. Educators, students, everybody. And finished out a good year. Had biggest outdoor ed classes I've had since the beginning of it. And
that's great.
Had a lot of students that are trying to find their way through outdoor ed and figure out what they're going to do. And I've got this week, it seems like our family's scattered to the winds. I got a daughter and a son-in-law headed overseas, going to spend some vacation in Ireland, and then my son's at church camp working for that, and then wife and I are here with the family from Nevada, and we got our toes in the sand. So we're kind of scattered to the winds this week, which is all right with me.
Okay, that sounds good. And you're going to try to get some fishing put in?
Well, I already started. I got there as soon as I could and went ahead and caught me about half a dozen whiting out of surf, just
good
playing around. It was, that to me, that's my therapy and my relaxation, being able to get out and get around the water.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, we have some pictures. I know the last couple months or two you've been busy, so we're going
to take a gander at these.
You're good about sending pictures. This first one here, let's talk about this.
All right, this is in a place called the Pascagoula River. If you ever get on I-10 headed west and you're going towards Biloxi or New Orleans, you pass over this body of water. My wife is from this area, and while her father was living for about 35 years, we got to fish all around this area, and it is some of the most fantastic springtime fishing. One of the things we try to do when we go over there in the spring is we kind of focus on shellcracker and catfish, and we've had phenomenal days. We've had days where we would have our limit of shellcracker by 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And when I say a limit, that's 100 apiece, and I might have 4 people in the boat. And I start looking at them like, hey, listen, we don't need this. You do know that we got to clean this many. He says, yeah, but the church is having a fish fry. Oh man! So we would have a good time catching them, and we threw a lot of them back. But it's been to the point now for the last 10 or 12 years. We've got so many people that want to go and fish with us. I have to buy the earthworms and the wigglers from a wholesaler. Because when you go to a bait and tackle store around here and you say, I need 6,000 earthworms and 3,500 wigglers, they look at you like your hair's on fire. But it's a needed trip. Yeah. This trip right here, we fishing in that area.
Let me interject right here. Talking about that phrase, the church is having a fish fry. It brought back some of the memories, because really the church will be having a fish fry. But what happens, and we'll catch 200 or 300 ourselves, but there are 5 or 6 other families in the church catching 200 or 300.
Well,
and we have the fish fry, fish all over the place. That's a true story.
We do that. We do that a lot, and if it's good, a lot of the ladies in the women's department and places like there, they kind of want to know when we're going too, so they'll give us a midweek report and go, how's it going? Are we on or are we off? And we'll tell them, hey, yeah, get ready, or nah, it ain't happening this week.
That's some really good memories.
Yes, sir.
Great
yes,
times.
sir.
But the bad part was cleaning them. That many. All right, you got a whole bucket full here.
Yeah, that was one of the trips this past spring. The water temperature was not quite warm enough for the shell cracker to go on bed, but when they're not on bed, we are still able to be blessed with a mess of fish. There's largemouth bass in there, channel catfish, shell cracker, and then there's another catfish that I don't see over here much. I think there's some in the Port St. Joe area, but they call them over there, they call them a yellow catfish.
Yellow cat, yeah.
And they don't get real big, but they are some of the best tasting catfish I've ever had. They're really, really good to eat. So we do that a lot too. This next one here is my son Reed. He's a beginning angler, you would say, at over 20 years old. I kind of burned him out by the time he was 4, and he took a hiatus for a while, and he went on this trip, and that's one of the shell cracker we caught, and we're in a place called Cunningham Lake. So if any of you folks have Mississippi contacts over there, yeah, stay out of my hole.
He's got a life jacket on. That's great.
Oh yeah, he's gonna do that. This is one of my best friends. He drives all the way from Tennessee to come fish with us. Awesome. He's grown up one of the Crestview natives, and he was hanging out limb lines, and that one was 33 pounds.
Whoa.
I believe is what he said. What? And we had one that broke the string and tore up some stuff on the ground there, but we've had some good trips over there.
That's great. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Ernie. Okay, welcome back. Our guest today, Coach Ernie Martin, all the way over from Crestview, staying a couple of days, a week over there in the beach, and I always talk him into coming over. He's always so good about sharing so many good outdoor activities. Works so well with young people and helps them out so much. And this picture here, here's a testimonial. Tell us, end of the year banquet for the Emerald Coast Youth Bassmasters. Ernie, I love that picture.
Yes, sir. That's a culmination. That's not everybody. Now, the thing that was, if you can say there was any kind of blessings that came out of our pandemic, the Emerald Coast Youth Bassmasters was a blessing, because before that, the only people allowed to be on the club were members of Crestview High School. And now that it was taken out of the school district, which I had to fight to get in, it turned into a club, and we've got people fishing with us from Pensacola to Panama City. One of the student anglers you don't see in there, his name's Ryder Schilling. He lives right here at Inlet Beach and is a fantastic fisherman. And his partner last year, who graduated, lived in Pensacola, and he's off to the races doing his things. He's even now starting his own line of lures out that he's trying to do in the bass fishing area. Yeah, but cool. Those kids right there are the ones that fished the entire year. Some of them fished for 4 years. And we have two, the one standing on the left, Reed Fleming and Chase Nixon, are going this week. They're headed tomorrow to pre-fish for the state champions tournament. And last year, the one in the back, in the middle, and the one on the right with a hat, they were state champions last year. And wow. They went and fished. And Chase and Reed this year will be at Lake Seminole, which they feel real confident about, and they'll have an opportunity to be our first team to qualify for the national championship.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hopefully they can get the job done. They know that they have all of our support, and they feel like they got a good plan. And once they go out there, and he said, Coach, it just comes down to execution. If we can get them in a boat, we got a chance.
And so many times it's those little things, and that's what
it is, very much.
And we talk about that a lot. And I want to congratulate you for doing that, and thank you for doing it. And we always talk about other schools having it. You can do it. It takes someone at the school that loves kids, of course, and loves fishing and wants to help out. And then it takes some good parents, and that combination there. It's as simple as that.
Without the support of the school district, and without the parents, and then this shirt that I'm wearing is because of Emerald Coast Youth Bassmasters. It's not for me. It's for these people right here.
Yeah.
And all of these sponsors on there, starting out with Tiffany Woodham, our State Farm agent. She's been in from the get-go, and wonderful to have with her sponsorship. And it takes a community to get this team off and running, and that's what's happened.
And, you know, and we talked about this before the show. There's a lot of companies and businesses out there that have money set aside that want to do things like this, and they just need to have the opportunity and have shirts made up like this. There's all kinds of things like that.
It sure does. Sure does.
I know you've seen it. So okay, so let's. You've been. What kind of? You got back from Mississippi on that fishing trip and school. I know you're busy in the school and all. So what kind of fishing you been doing lately?
Fished several bass tournaments. I've got a couple of different organizations I fish with when I can, and then we try to fish the charity tournaments and the memorial tournaments just to kind of help support those people who have a need. And now that it's got to June and it's red snapper season, I'm trying to get my saltwater gear rolling, and we're getting ready to do some of that and maybe fish a few of those tournaments. But here lately, it's been the bass fishing stuff and trying to get ready to transition. I've got my mullet net, my cast nets hanging ready to go, and I got my lures for the trolling, which hopefully this afternoon I'll get to do some of that. But yeah, I try not to waste much time in the summertime. I try to use it doing my list to keep my kitchen pass relevant. Because if I don't, then I got to take care of that. But
that's right.
I had an opportunity to go over to Louisiana past weekend. We were there for a wedding, and I ran into one of my sponsors that I actually pro staff with. His name's Mr. Charlie. He's built his own fishing lure business, and the name of his company is Spec Drum Baits. And he asked me to bring them back last winter and use them and to see what I thought and see if he thinks he could get into the Panhandle, Florida market. And I brought them over and I did some comparisons. A lot of times in the wintertime, I like to troll for speckled trout, and I'll throw the jigs with the lures on the back behind the boat. And these lures catch fish. They are amazing to me. But he does some very unique steps in making his baits. He has studied it enough and done enough chartering and stuff like that. He knows what a 3-inch LY looks like in the water at daytime and at night. And he knows what the brown shrimp and the white shrimp, everything that a speckled trout or a redfish would eat, he knows what they look like. And he has developed these baits to fit that look depending on the water clarity. And they really, really work. And the last thing he did to these baits is he infused scent into the plastic. And last weekend he told me that he has charter boat captains in the Louisiana area, Slidell, New Orleans, that have cut down over 65% of their live shrimp use because of his baits. And I'm thinking, if you can fool a speckled trout into eating an artificial bait because of the way it looks and smells, I said, you've got something here. And I brought them this way. I'm leaving some of these with you. We'll leave the name of the company up, because right now, if you want some in the Bay, Walton, and Okaloosa kind of area, you got to go online or you got to see me, and I ain't got many to share right now. I've got to get them out. I'll be putting some out to the companies and these charter boat captains to try, but They really, really are a productive bait, and you can match them. I've got him to send me some that look like the glass minnows we catch them on.
Yeah.
And some of the LYs, pogies, brown shrimp, white shrimp, and they have two styles. They've got the boot tail, and then he's developed this one that has a triple tail look to it, if you would. It just gives it a different action. And the other thing that I've done with these is in my bass tournament clubs and organizations, we have a lot of people that will fish with bladed jigs, spinner baits, swim jigs. And I said, do me a favor, when you go to one of your practice sessions, put this on as a trailer and then tell me how well you think it works. So I've got a lot of people out sampling this product, and the last up-to-date last weekend, they have caught 18 different species of fish on this, including northern pike and trout on these lures that they had sent up north. I'm like, well, he's got a niche, and it looks like it's going to work. And he's also made some that are really, really small. And he said that well, they're over in Louisiana, they're called sac-a-lait, but it's crappie fishing. He said the crappie fishermen are loving them. So, he's got a good product, and I'm proud to be able to help promote this in our area.
Okay, good. Let's take our final break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our time looking at 9:56 to 11:56 this morning. Tonight, 10:24 to 12:24. Got a quick announcement before we get back to Ernie. Right here, say this is Highland Park. This is hey Winston. This is from Bill Dozier, our county commissioner. Highland Park having a low country shrimp boil. This is Friday night at 6 o'clock. Special guest speaker is Jeep Sullivan. He works with the Wounded Warriors. I've known Jeep a long time. He's a great speaker, great story. All men are invited. Tickets are $5 each, and that won't even cover the cost of 3 shrimp. But I'm looking forward to it. But let them know. Call Highland Park Baptist. Let them know you want to come and get a ticket, because they need to get. Bill said they need to get a head count before they buy the shrimp. So. Bill, I'm going, and you may try to come over.
I'll check with the crew.
Check with the boss.
My kitchen pass may be expired by then.
Don't tell them. Now, we were talking. We're talking about rigging them up and different.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's, some of the times when you start fishing techniques, it's almost like you're reinventing the wheel. And a lot of this stuff you see is cyclical, because I remember growing up, and one of the first baits you would buy to speckled trout fish was a spec rig. And that had 2 jigs, and you just tied it at the loop in the middle. Well, I mean, it comes around full circle, and the guys that are running these charters are doing that with these spec drum baits. They're running a 2-hook rig, and they're doing it a couple of different ways. One of them looks like the old spec rig. I'm sure a lot of you people watching understand what that looks like. And the other one is like a drop shot. If you bass fish any you know what that technique is. But on the bottom, it's not a weight. It's another grub and a jig head. So depending on how deep you are, like if I'm fishing 12, 15 feet, I'll have a 3/8 ounce jig head on the bottom with a grub on it. And then I'll come up to my second hook, which will be a plain J hook, straight shanked, and I'll hook one of these little babies on it to have it look like a swimming minnow or swimming shrimp. And you'd be amazed at how many big trout, which I've got another picture I'll save for another time. He's got a cooler full of trout on one of those, and I don't think any of them are under 4 pounds. They are monster trout and redfish they caught on those.
Yeah.
But it is it's a good technique, and it's one of the ones that I use a lot, and it works. I mean, you cover 2 water columns while you're doing that, and that makes a difference.
Yeah. You brought up a good point about how it goes in a cycle.
Yeah.
And something we used a long time ago, then new stuff comes along, and then you buy that, and you keep going with trend. and all of a sudden,
Here it
it's
comes
funny you
back,
said that.
yeah.
'Cause over the weekend, I was on my tackle bench, and I saw over in the corner an old jitterbug, the old jitterbug. I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going this summer, I'm going to go fishing with a jitterbug.
Yep.
But nobody ever uses them anymore on top water early in the morning, and just see, I bet you I'll catch some I got some old jitterbugs. I'm going to give them a try.
I like the jitterbug. I like the old Dalton Special. That was probably the first frog-looking bait that ever come out.
Yeah.
I've still got one that needs to be repainted because the bass love it still. And I mean, some of these things that are around still, they didn't build them because they didn't catch fish, because they were out trying to catch that dollar bill while they built them. And if it caught fish, people bought them.
Well, I've said for a long, long time, way back when I started collecting old fishing tackle, they ought to have a bass fishing tournament, and only can use antique lures, say 30 years or older, and have a special tournament.
Right.
And that would be very special. So some of y'all out there,
Antique lure tournament.
Well, exactly. And talking about a great fundraiser, I flat out would support it. So I'll talk
I think
about,
that would be awesome. It'd be fun to see what people bring out there. But you'd probably have some mad people, because if I lost one of those antique lures because I threw it up there by a red wasp nest and I had to leave it, yeah, I'd probably not. I'd probably have to wait and come back at night and get it.
I know, but you don't use it as something really valuable. Don't use those.
Yeah,
but a jitterbug, a Dalton Special,
yes, sir.
All those, there are a lot of those still out there.
Some of those antique. I tell you, one of the first antiques that I ever found, it was how I believe Snagless Sally got started. And I have 3 of them, and I won't fish them, and they're called the Hawaiian Wiggler.
Yes.
And I have them, and those won't go back in the water. Those will go in the antique box, or I may sell one on eBay just to test the market. But those were neat to see, and you could see how the inline spinner got started through that bait.
That'd be so cool. And I had another idea too. I just popped up. You were talking about. A lot of people like to make their own lures, like Mike Edwards makes his own lures. So you have a little tournament or a side tournament with a lure that you make, a homemade lure or something. It'd be cool. Well, okay. So anyway, you got a big week planned. Then the rest of the summer.
Oh man, this week is my week off, and I get back. I have been for the last 5 years, since post-pandemic. The City of Crestview Recreation Department has hired me on to run a kids fishing camp.
Awesome. And
last year we had enough kids to have a morning session and another group to run an afternoon session. And she opened it up 2 weeks ago on Thursday, and she called me Friday morning and said, well, those 2 are booked. Would you like to have a third one? So yeah, I may be busy for a couple of weeks there, but
if I get a chance, I'm gonna run over there one day and just shoot some videos, spend some time with you.
It's fun. It'll be at Twin Hills Park. Get with me, but we try to have people come in, and we'll have some sponsors show up and get the media out there to watch the kids have a good time.
I'm proud of you for doing that, and I wish I know Callaway's having one pretty soon. This summer, get the kids out there doing something, and good job, City of Crestview.
Yes, sir. They filled a niche, and these kids love it.
That's good. We're running out of time again. We always run out of time. We've got other stuff to talk about. Don't forget, we'll talk about the spectrum bait some more, and try.
Yeah, keep these with you. You folks out there. Winston's got his own bag of them, so if you go out there and you see him with a half a cooler full of fish, you know what he's using.
I caught him on an earthworm. Okay. Thank you, Ernie.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all watching the show. Y'all, we appreciate your loyalty. Y'all do something good for someone else today. Have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.